that were missing in action last week, including Jackie, who has been ill most of the week and is well today. Yay. Yay. And me, that had sudden food poisoning last Sunday, and you would not have wanted me to be here, I'll tell you that. So the good news is
I don't think they wanted either one of us here.
it came and it went quickly, mine did. So, and Liz is back from a family wedding, and Carmen is back from a trip. So, but I just want to thank everybody that put together the service last week, and really had a fabulous service.
Yeah, they did.
Last minute, all of a sudden, including Jennifer and who did the music, some of the music, and the Daily Word, and Nancy, who did the service. So we, we're really blessed to have each other, and I give thanks for all that is a blessing, all of you that are a blessing in my life and in the life of this community. Today, it is September 28th, and we are going to look at the sacredness of our humanity and how to honor those parts of us that we may want to hide. We may want to hide from, we may not know how to deal with. And so we're going to be talking about how to integrate spiritual truth and into our sacred human bodies. Unity minister and friend of mine, Jim Rosemurgy, explains this so well in his book, The Sacred Human. And if somebody is interested in doing a quick book study on it, I'm presenting a lot that's in the book today, but it is so powerful that I am open to doing a short book study on that at some point if there is interest. So we at Unity welcome your donations, however they come. This lesson is going to be on my Jan Chase Facebook timeline and history, and on our Unity of Pomona Facebook page, but they only last a month, and so David has put us onto our YouTube, our own YouTube station, so you can check us out there. And let us sing now, Flow Spirit Flow. Julie. We're glad to have Julie back with us. She was another one that was gone last week, so there were like 5 of us. It's a picture of our heart, the rhythm and beat of our hearts, if you had an EKG, it's like that energy that's measured looks like that. Isn't that amazing? Our hearts really affect each other and as well as ourselves. And so let us turn to prayer. I invite us to be mindful of where we are, to feel the seat we're sitting on, to allow our bodies to relax a bit from the hustle and bustle of getting here today, and to allow our breath to remind us to be here now. I invite you to let my words be your words. Oh, sacred body of mine, you have been formed from the elements of the earth. You have been put together so wondrously. Even the greatest scientists are still baffled by many of your mysteries. I know that my body and my mind and my spirit, my emotions, my thoughts all interconnect. And they interconnect within my being, my sacred human being. And so today, I send my love to myself. I send my love to my body, this wondrous instrument that has taken me along life's road through so much and continues to renew and refresh me, to heal me from trauma and disease. I give thanks to you, sacred body. I see you working full of spirit and with spirit. I see you working with my mind, my emotions, and the flow of the divine spirit that moves in and through me without stopping. I open myself to loving myself at depth, to having the sacred Spirit of God heal me at depth, to release and let go of thoughts and patterns that no longer serve me, and to open up my being, my body, my emotions, to feel their messages to me, so that I can totally integrate who I am and be an even greater channel for God and good and love in this world. And as I see this for myself, let us all see this for not only each other, but for all people in the world. Let us see all people throughout the world opening to self-acceptance, self-love, and acceptance of others. And so it is. Amen. Let us sing the Lord's Prayer. Thank you, God. I would love to have someone lead songs, a song leader here. And or have our musicians mic'd, so Julie, I
Well,
would love
if the piano were fixed, I could do it, but
Yeah.
it's too hard right now.
Yeah. So if you know of somebody that might be interested in leading songs,
I think it would be easier to fix the piano.
well, let's talk
Yeah.
about
I-
what you
I
mean
can't-
by
it's
fix the
just too
piano.
hard.
Get it off, lower it, I guess you mean.
Well, yeah, it's like 6 inches in the air,
Yes. We have a flying piano,
you know.
and therefore Julie gets to fly when she plays it, which is not always
Not the
easy.
easiest thing to do.
Not the easiest thing to do. So our announcements today, we continue with our fun and fellowship together and food after our service. And I want to thank everybody that brought food today. It takes a village to eat together. Again, as I said, look for our services. They will be on YouTube as well as Facebook. Today we have a board meeting at 2:30. So just to let those of you know, we'll have a fast fellowship. We had to cancel our SWAC meeting, our listening circle, last week because so many of us, like 5 of us, were gone. And so we're looking at towards the end of October to have it. Try having it again. I will let our board should decide today what's going to work for them. Our book study is on Mondays from 7 till 8. This is wrong. Wednesday is our meditation. We switched it to Thursday when we had an event here at the church, but we're back to Wednesdays now, so that is wrong. Compassionate Pomona meeting is Thursday at 10 o'clock on Zoom, and anybody is welcome to join us. I'm having another mindfulness practice next Sunday after lunch where we can learn just how to slow down, how to take our awareness within and find there's a huge amount of blessing in all of that with sitting meditation, eating meditation, and walking meditation. And then there is another Sky course with Dr. Pramila Agrawal, and it is going to be on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of October. So you can take a picture of that or call me, write me. I got an email yesterday from the Buddhist Center that is occupying our new building, and Ruth was just telling me they've got a new sign up, and they are inviting me and friends of mine to their Buddha statue consecration ceremony and Great Compassion Dharma Assembly. And it's at the Gonson, California, the Buddhism temple that used to be our church. So I know that I've been watching them work on it and helping them some, and Jackie and I have helped them, and Kwang has helped them. And so it will be really nice to welcome them into the community. I sent out an email with the letter they sent me to some of my interfaith friends and Pomona churches that are interested in maybe meeting them and welcoming them. So does anybody here know that they would be interested? They want an account because they want to have food, lunch, and it's a Saturday and Sunday. I'm obviously not going on Sunday, but Saturday from 9 till 1, and I think Sunday from 9 till 1 as well. Is anybody interested in going? Oh, good, Carmen. Okay, thank you. Did I see any other hands? No. Okay. The circle of chairs that I am a part of and does usually racial dialogue, they are having another circle. It's at Pitzer College, and the subject this time is, should DEI, DIE? And there are a lot of opinions about this. And so, you know, we need to learn how to talk to each other, how to listen to each other. So if you're interested, it's at the Gold Student Health and Wellness Center there on the campus. And then I'm going to be putting up new banners on next Friday. And we talked about having a new banner art show. 3 of the banners, I think that there were like 6 or 7 that were started, but 3 are complete. And they will be hung on Friday. And I'm thinking that it would be good to meet here at 12 o'clock and have the artists, that's Jackie and Carmen and Susie from the Religious Science Church, to explain a little bit, take a little time and explain about their banners and what the theme is and how that process worked for them. So we can just celebrate new art in our space. Does that work for everybody? Carmen, Jackie, does that work for you?
I imagine so.
Okay, so I just need to talk to Susie. Also, on the 12th, I'd like to have another Unity 102 class. It's a 3-hour class to learn more about Unity, and it is required for anybody that wants to join. Joining Unity, you don't have to give up any other memberships, because we're about going deeper, not necessarily taking over anything. And so if anybody wants to just know more about us or wants to join, please come to the class. So, and people that have gone through the class, it's always good to have other people there to get to know the new people that are with us. So, and that will be from 2:30 to 5:30. Then the Pomona Promise Leadership group is having a conference of collaboratives in Pomona. There's so much help and so many groups that are doing good works in Pomona, and we don't all know each other. So this is an opportunity for anybody that is doing any kind of work in Pomona. You're invited to come, and please do sign up to come. I can give you flyers, but and it's on Wednesday, October 15th at the Village Conference Center from 8:30 till 3:30. It should be really wonderful, and we're working with UCLA on this. And then finally, our Compassion at Pomona is having our Kindness Festival the 1st of November. It's going to be downtown Pomona, and I'm wondering if Unity wants to have a booth. So if anybody's interested in helping that happen, or if we want to have a booth with someone else, like Sky Breathing or somebody, it's kind of nice to share the opportunity and the space. So if you are interested in that, let me know. Again, we are collecting, and we continue to collect food and backpacks and lunch pails, and then next month we're going to be collecting hygiene items for one of the community schools as well. So we are so grateful that love does move and flow through us. Thank you, Liz, for getting the basket ready. Let us say the prayer, the affirmation on the screen together.
Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all I am, all I give, all I do, and all that I receive.
And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Liz. And Jackie, will you make your way up to the front to read the daily word? Is that your place you can
Yep,
get it?
I can hop up. Good morning.
Good morning.
The word for today is beautiful. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. When I am fully present to life, I find beauty everywhere. looking up at shimmering stars, walking through a field of marigolds, or sitting by the ocean. I rejoice in the beauty of nature. It truly is a wonderful world. The beauty that delights my senses also lives in me. The presence of God does not just surround me, it is within me also. My divine gifts, along with my talents and unique abilities, make me a beautiful and integral part of the world. When I live into the fullness of my divinity, the expression of my humanity is simply beautiful. I am a radiant spiritual being, an individuation of the divine. I honor the presence of God within myself and all others. We are beautiful. And from Psalm 27:4, one thing I asked of the Lord that I will seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord.
Thank you, Jackie.
And that goes for everybody here, not just me.
That's right. That is right. Okay. Find my way through my papers. Okay. Oh. So today we are going to sing It's a Special Day, and I think Julie made these pictures for us. So, and it is in Wings of Song 221.
Something is stirring, something is stirring, something of the spirit. What's the day today? Energies are soaring, colors soaring, something of the spirit. What's the day today? It's a special day. It's a special day. I can feel it deep.
Okay.
Liz should just be the song leader. She does a good job.
Sometimes I can't know.
And sometimes Nancy comes up and does that.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So, or you guys could do it together.
Yeah, we could have a
We
duet.
could have our little
Do
choir.
that.
Yeah, that would be great. So today we're talking about integrating our sacred human with spiritual truth. And we all have these amazing sacred bodies. And yet we have these human tendencies that can mess up, right? So, starting with some humor. Oh, that's not the humor. The humor is Murphy showed up at Mass one Sunday, and the priest almost fell down when he saw him because he had never been to church. After Mass, the priest caught up with him and said, "Murphy, I am so glad you decided to come to Mass. What made you come?" And Murphy said, "I gotta be honest with you, Father. A while back, I misplaced me hat, and I really love that hat. I know that McGlynn had a hat just like mine, and I know he came to church every Sunday. I also know that he had to take his hat off during Mass, and I figured he'd leave it in the back of the church. So I was gonna leave after communion and steal McGlynn's hat." So the priest said, "Well, Murphy, I noticed that you didn't steal McGlynn's hat. What changed your mind?" Murphy replied, "Well, after I heard your sermon on the 10 Commandments, I decided I didn't need to steal McGlynn's hat after all." With a tear in his eye, the priest gave Murphy a big smile and said, "After I talked about thou shalt not steal, you decided that you'd rather do without your hat than burn in hell?"
Oh,
Murphy slowly shook his head. "No, Father. After you talked about thou shalt not commit adultery, I remembered where I left my hat."
Oh,
So, guess what? Human beings, we're not perfect, usually in each other's eyes and often not in our own eyes, right? And many people would probably not call us perfect. Could it be that there is a perfection that is in us, even in our mess-ups, in our mistakes, in our errors, in our screw-ups? Could that just be a part of our learning and growing? What do you think?
Yes?
Yes, okay. Yeah, I need feedback. Okay.
I'm going to say
Okay,
yes.
yes. So this whole talk is, I need feedback. So, would we judge a 6-month-old because they couldn't walk? No, why not?
They're too little.
They're too little, they haven't gotten to that stage of development, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Or would we judge a 1st grader for not being able to do 4th grade math?
Yeah.
No. We are all on this evolutionary journey through our life, and we are growing physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually on that journey. And although judgment, it's so easy to judge ourselves and it's so easy to judge each other, what does the Bible say about judgment?
judge not, lest ye be judged.
That's it. Judge not, lest you be judged. And when we are judging another, who are we really judging?
Ourselves.
Ourselves. Because our judgment comes from something about ourselves that we haven't really accepted yet, right? And so we're projecting that out into the world onto other people. In New Thought, we are taught that we are spiritual beings learning how to be human. Free spiritual beings dealing with gravity. You know, gravity makes us heavy, right? And gravity can be challenging and difficult in a lot of ways. And yet, could it be that the very challenges we sometimes hate are challenges that we have come to earth as souls to grow from? Do you think that it's possible?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely do, and we're going to hear a lot more about that. So I feel like we need to experience at depth the pain, the sadness, the fear, you know, whatever the emotions that come up are, so that we can then be open up and receive the gifts that our soul needs for its growth. I grew up in the 50s, and the Puritan idea of, the flesh being sinful was very much around me. Anybody else grew up with that? Sinful flesh? Okay. And the idea of, the Christian idea of original sin. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that Christians are the only religion that I am aware of, and I have asked, that believe in original sin? No other world religion believes in that. Isn't that interesting? And New Thought does not believe in that. So we may have given up that sense of, the flesh being evil or the original sin, and yet we have a lot to do and a lot to learn, and some opportunities. Swami Vivekananda, who spoke at the first Parliament of the World's Religions, where the Fillmores attended, he writes this.
Oh, I love this.
I love this too. Children of immortal bliss. What a sweet, what a hopeful name. Allow me to call you brethren by that sweet name, heirs of immortal bliss. Yea, the Hindus refuse to call you sinners. You are the children of God, the sharers of immortal bliss, holy and perfect beings. Ye divinities on earth, sinners? It is a sin to call anyone so. It is a standing libel on human nature. Come up, O lions, and shake off the delusion that you are sheep. You are souls immortal, spirits free, blessed and eternal. Ye are not matter. Ye are not bodies. Matter is your servant, not you the servant of matter. What do you think of that?
I have a little question. Don't they
Yes.
have like? I have a
yes.
I have a question.
Yes, Julie.
Don't they have a caste system though? How does that work with the caste system?
Yeah, isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
They do have a caste system, and so there is a lot of judgment in that caste system. So like any religion or any type of government, there is the ideal, and then there is the way it works in a culture. And the way it works in a culture is usually very different than the ideal.
I mean,
But
those-
this is like, he is like, kind of like Jesus speaking. I mean, he was a phenomenal spiritual essence, and he was speaking the high truth. I don't know what he did to change the caste system. Yeah, I do not know. But yeah, Nancy, do you know?
I think I would rather be a sinner than on the lowest caste,
No, I
personally.
I really love this, and actually when I was at the Art Institute in Chicago when I was teaching kids one summer, and I went and they had an exhibit where the stairs were written with some of the passage that he said.
Wow.
So it was like different colors,
Yeah.
and the passage was going, and it moved me so much, it moved me to tears.
Yeah.
And what I love about this is that, what we think and what we say is creating our reality. And as much as we are material, we are spiritual. Like as soon as the spirit leaves the body, all bets are off.
Yes.
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 I think the beauty of this is we're highlighting the highest in us, and we're addressing each other as the highest in us to bring out the highest in us.
And the thing about Vivekananda, he was at that first parliament in 1893. He was the rock star. He was the one. They were all saying, "Oh my gosh, my religion's better than your religion." And he's like, "No, that's not what we're here for. We're here to learn from each other." So there's not one better, one worse. It's like we're all in this together.
I was raised Catholic and with the whole original sin thing, but in going to Unity, I was able to drop that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's,
Sometimes you
I
have
feel
to
like
be
it's
given
all God.
permission to drop it, right?
yeah.
To know that that doesn't have to be in our, and I was shocked when I found out that Christianity is the only religion that has that in their repertoire of beliefs. So, this whole month we've been looking at how do we honor both our physical nature, which is not perfect, or it's perfect in its imperfection or in our development or our evolution, and our spiritual nature, with an attention to not using spirituality to bypass our physical and emotional pain through premature spiritual practices. There is the man that I believe has come up with coined the phrase spiritual bypass is a therapist and a Buddhist, and I think he's American, and his name is John Wenward, and he writes, he defines spiritual bypassing as using spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep personal, emotional, unfinished business, to shore up a shaky sense of self, or to belittle basic needs, feelings, and developmental tasks. The goal of such practices, he claimed, was enlightenment. Well, I think many of us are trying to be enlightened, right? But we just I wanted the fast elevator. It's like, okay, God, just take me up so I can not go through all the crud of this body and the hard parts of life, right? Anybody else want to do that? Yeah.
I really wanted to a few years ago.
A few years ago. And then you learned something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned that, there's the work involved is part of the process. It's just like a tapestry. On the back it's messy, but on the front it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yes. And the work is a part, and we're going to get to the importance of that work, because the work is what our souls come here to do. So, Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of our Unity movement, she described the common nature of God and humankind as resulting from God's creating humans in his image. Now we know that that's in Genesis, right? God created man in his image and likeness. Therefore, she says, perfect. She indicated that God and man are one and the same. It is God in us who gives us mind and life and love and substance. So it's all God, not just the spiritual part, but the physical part, the gravity part. All of that is God. Yet, even though these teachings are awesome, my challenges didn't go away when I was trying to fast track up, lift me up, God, and help me not feel anything. Robert Brummett, Unity minister, writer, teacher, brought mindfulness to Unity from the Buddhist tradition. And he was also my personal counselor. And I realized through counseling with him that I lived in my head. Many of us are into thinking. We know the power of our thought. We know that thoughts make our world, etc., etc. And so we bypass our physical bodies completely. And that's what I was doing. And so he would say, well, how do you feel about that? And I'd say, well, I think blah, 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 blah. And he'd say, no, can you take a breath and go in? And can you tell me what emotion you're feeling? I couldn't. I could not. I didn't have the language. I didn't have the experience. I had not gone into my body. And so that's what the learning is how do we learn to go into our bodies, to notice sensations, to notice emotions, which are energy in motion, And how do we keep them from getting stuck? Because if we don't feel them, what happens?
Just
It gets pushed down.
They get pushed down, and they cause a block in the flow of spirit through us, of life through us, and then they can go into dis-ease and they can go into disease. And so it's so important to be in touch with our bodies, even though it's not necessarily always pleasant. Like when I had food poisoning last week, it was not pleasant, but I'll tell you, because I was so into my body, I was so amazed at how all the forces of my body were there to get that poison out as fast as possible. I mean, I was absolutely in awe. And so instead of cursing my body for making me sick, I was glorifying my body because I was seeing it in a new way with new eyes. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So learning how to honor both aspects of us. Some of you may remember this verse from Psalms 139. This is from the New King James Version. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. So here is the soul. Our souls know about our bodies, but our minds may not. And so that's what we have to align, our mind and our soul, into our bodies. So when I began practicing mindfulness meditation regularly, I began to have these experiences of sensations in my body and my emotions, and I could name them. And then I read Jim Rosemurgey's book, The Sacred Human. I had a picture of him and I forgot to put it in. Jim was another mentor for me and a unity minister, and he's written many, many, many books. And this book, The Sacred Human, was life-altering. And at the end of each chapter in this book, he sums up what the ideas are, and it gives an affirmation and then a summary statement. And I'm going to give you that for this book today. We're going to go through it fast, but he begins the book in the preface and he says, even though our capacities are immense, for most of us, they remain, thank you, an unrealized potential. Imagine what we would be like and what we would accomplish if we expressed our latent talents and inherent abilities. Individuals who express their potential make a great impact on others and the world. What would the earth be like if thousands and tens of thousands of us lived life this way? And so it is about, as we integrate the spiritual and the physical, we get then to glorify God in all these amazing ways. So let's explore this wisdom that he gives us. So the first chapter is failure is not the problem. How many of us have failed? Has any of you failed at anything? Okay.
Every day.
So, do we think of failure as good or bad?
Ben? It depends.
Failure is good. Failure is, we got to shift, the thinking around failure, because failure is how you learn. If you watch a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old try to walk, how many times do they fall down? Is that a failure? Yes, they're failing to walk, but they're learning how to walk. So every time we fail, we are learning something at many different levels, probably. So to give up failing as a bad thing and to begin to see, oh, this is a part of being human. This is a normal part of being human. We all fail. He says, place no cosmic significance on your mistakes. Our most grievous error is that we are try to do maintenance on ourselves, and I have to admit I do it all the time, and others, and I probably do some of that as well. The greatest influence upon our lives is our view of who? Ourselves. It is feelings that we fear the most. What feelings might you fear the most? For women, often it's anger. For men, it's often fear or sadness. Yeah. Yeah. So there's an affirmation, and I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Let us read it together. There is a grand and wonderful potential to be expressed. And then let's read the summary. Nothing needs to be hidden. Nothing needs to be fixed. So if we can just accept ourselves, right? Okay. The second chapter is on the sacred human. And the points are the sacred human is like a hurt child. We have not accepted our humanity, therefore we are unable to express our divinity. Our humanity is as sacred as our divinity. So let us read that affirmation. I have the courage and personal integrity necessary to experience my humanity. And the summary, unless I am willing to experience my humanity, I will not be able to express my divinity. Is this shocking to anybody? Maybe a little. Could it be that we have to accept our humanity before we can truly express our divinity? Why would that be? Anybody have an idea? Because when we don't accept ourselves and our foibles, then there's a block of energy. We get dammed up and damned. You see that word damned, it's kind of interesting where that kind of comes from. And in the damning, then we block the flow of spirit in and through and as us. So there is a Christian mystic, Hildegard of Bingen. If any of you have read her, she's really phenomenal. I can't remember, 13th century maybe. And she says, holy persons draw to themselves all that is earthly. The earth is at the same time mother. She is mother of all that is natural, mother of all that is human. She is mother of all. For contained in her are the seeds of all. So she really got it. And to me that sounds very like our Native American brothers and sisters, right? Understanding the importance of earthliness. Then the next chapter is gentle with ourselves. Our first step is the acceptance of the sacred human. We need to be gentle with ourselves. How many of us are gentle with ourselves? Nice, Nancy.
Off and on, not always.
Off and on.
But I'm aware.
Aware, yes, yes. The sacred human means no harm. Our true self makes itself known with every genuine step we take. So the affirmation is, I accept myself just the way I am. Summary, my first step is to accept my mistakes and weaknesses. And when we do that, I think there's this real energy shift when we can do that. As we've talked about, many of us were taught not to make mistakes, that the school system kind of gets that into you, and your family may get that into you, and so we strive to be perfect, and we get the sense that if we aren't perfect, is there something wrong with us? Yeah. And so we hold back. I think a lot of us hold back from being who we are because, well, I can't do that. You know, who am I to do that? And so, again, in Sky Breathing, we have lessons about mistakes and the importance of mistakes, right, Nancy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how we have to make mistakes in order to learn, in order to grow, in order to try new things. We don't always do new things perfectly the first time we do them. And sometimes we try to be somebody other than who we are. I remember as a kid, I used to want to be like my friend because she was so cool, you know, and I forgot who I was because I was so shy, believe it or not. So we need to be...
So she became a minister.
Pardon?
So she became a minister.
I know!
The shy one.
I could not speak in front of a class for anything. I would just rather die. So there you go. God changes us, you know. The things that we couldn't do when we were younger and we end up doing. How many of you have found you can do all kinds of things that you didn't think you could do?
Well,
Oh.
banner making.
Banner making, art, yes. Yeah. So we have to open to that, right? So the next one is the first law of love. The first law of love is acceptance. Love does not demand that we change. And boy, I work on myself too much, I think. While accepting us as we are, love also calls us to come up higher. The changing of our humanity is not our purpose. The Creator performs no maintenance upon us. Now that's kind of surprising, isn't it? Because
What does that mean?
I think it means that we are evolving rather than that God comes in and tries to make us be
A certain way.
different than we are.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But, you know, believe it or not, it's up to you. This is not gospel. This is just a theory, but I love it because I think it's very powerful. The sacred human is the seed that will bear the fruit of spirit. And the affirmation together, God accepts me just the way I am. Summary, the first law of love is acceptance. Could this be about accepting ourselves so we can evolve? You know, if we are stuck, we're not going to try, we're not going to grow, we're afraid to fail, and so we don't accept ourselves. And you probably all know people that are stuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sad to see that. But not us, right? Not us. So the next chapter is being fully alive. All parts of us are treasures. All parts of us are treasures. Accepting our humanity is a challenge, but it holds great promise. We are to be fully alive. We are to experience our memories, thoughts, and feelings, no matter how hurtful. We don't have to be in control. Memories, thoughts, and feelings are not good or bad. How many of us put a judgment on feelings and thoughts and memories? Yeah.
I think it's natural and we're kind of conditioned that way.
We are conditioned, and a lot of this is about unconditioning, right? Yeah. So some of this was kind of shocking when I went through it the first time, and still going back, and I read this 30 years ago. But it had a profound effect on me. The path of healing is feeling. The path of healing is feeling. God is, I am. Let us read the affirmation. I am willing to be fully alive. Summary, when we are fully alive as human beings, we will experience our spiritual identity. And I think that's what many of us want, is to get a sense of ourselves as a spiritual being. Let's see. How many treasures do you think we have buried within ourselves?
Unlimited.
That is a good one. Yes. I don't think we ever will come to the end of unearthing the treasures that we have within us, that we are. Accepting others is the next chapter. There's only 7 chapters, so we're getting almost there. All of our life is a spiritual journey. We are spiritual beings, but we wear disguises. And those disguises we don't even see, right? We're fooling ourselves with our disguises. Accepting our feelings prepares us to accept the feelings and behaviors of others. Do you think that's true?
Yes.
Acceptance of ourself and others is necessary before the presence, that's the spiritual presence, the divine presence, can make itself known as compassion, creativity, and intuition. When we accept others, we do not contend with them or demand that they change. When we accept others, our feeling nature is quiet. That surprises me because my feeling nature is never quiet. So that's interesting. When we accept others, we are patient. Acceptance of another invites him to accept himself.
That's true.
Yes, it's a mirror, right?
Yeah.
Acceptance may mean allowing that person to struggle and make mistakes. And that's sometimes hard to watch somebody we love, whether it's a child or a spouse or a friend, struggle, but doing too much for them, that's called enabling, right? And it does not help. So let us read the affirmation. I accept others just the way they are. My acceptance of others tells me if I have accepted myself. So the places, the people that we can't accept, there's probably some part of ourselves that we can't accept. And so that gives us a clue to look within. I spent most of yesterday texting a friend of mine that I grew up with. He and his wife, she was my best friend, and she died last Sunday morning, right about the time I got sick.
Oh.
She's my friend that I went to see in Texas on our trip this summer.
Oh, wow.
And Mike, I remember in 6th grade, we all went to the same church, and he was trying to teach me how to pole vault in 6th grade.
Oh.
So you can imagine, I was terrible. But so he is in huge grief. Now, if I hadn't gone through huge grief and allowed myself to feel those feelings, I do not think I could have been with him the way he needed or wanted yesterday. And so, you know, as we do that, we learn and then we can accept. Sufi Master Hazrat Inayat Khan writes, as long as we are ignorant of our own life needs and wants and the secret of our own nature, we can never understand the needs and wants and secret of another person's nature. And then finally, the divine plan. Here, the divine plan. Our humanity is an integral part of the divine plan. Our consciousness has brought the sacred human into being. Our humanity and our divine nature are partners in the unfoldment of the Creator's plan. So we're all a part of this plan. When we try to avoid the pain of being human, we shun our divine self and its gifts. When we accept ourselves and others, acts of love, compassion naturally flow from our being. Honoring our humanity and celebrating our differences is part of the path that leads to oneness. Our wise Creator has devised a plan that requires acceptance of our differences before we can experience our oneness. Affirmation: when I celebrate human differences, I find I am one with everyone. Fully human, fully divine. And so Jim Rosemurgy also writes that within each person is the yearning to become the Christ in expression. This grand seed was planted in all hearts by the Creator. At any given moment, we are expressing the degree of our Christ potential that we choose. To say no to the Christ is not to destroy, but only to delay the inevitable expression of the truth of our being. So it's going to happen, folks, but we get to choose the time. So for our meditation, I have a Native American prayer, and we'll just end with this. Wankantonka, great mystery, teach me how to trust my heart, my mind, my intuition, my inner knowing, the senses of my body, the blessings of my spirit. Teach me to trust these things so that I may enter my sacred space and love beyond my fear, and thus walk in balance with the passing of each glorious sun. And so it is. So now, let us go to Julie for special music today.
This is called Les Rappels des Oiseaux, the Dialogue of the Birds. It's by Baroque composer Rameau. Dialogue of birds.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yes. So let us share our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are,